Broadcasting to you on WNN 1470 AM and TrentoVision.tv from the world's leading think tank laboratory, buried deep in an undisclosed building in hostile territory where evil and corruption is exposed. You're about to enter the Tom Trento Show.
Now order, all hands man your battle station.
Tom Trento heads United West, a group that says it defends Western civilization against the onslaught of Islam.
And that must be where the Caped Crusader is.
That's right.
Tom Trento, somewhere in the world, fighting evil and corruption. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, because I can't. I can't
can't
hear myself think.
I can hear you perfectly.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is CJ. You are watching and listening to TrentoVision.tv.
.tv.
I am substituting for your host and friend, Tom Trento,
You're glorious.
on this Friday, November 8th. And because it is Friday, ordinarily, those of you who are regular listeners and viewers would be expecting to see something pop up on the screen. But we're not having anything pop up on the screen today. We are not showing and broadcasting Jumpin' Juma Freaky Friday.
What are you talking about?
I'm sorry, Mama Abdullah.
That is why I come on Friday. I rush here from mosque for this.
I know. You wait all week for this moment, but we're just not doing it today. And the reason why we're not doing it today, this Friday, November 8th, is because this weekend will be the 75th anniversary of Kristallnacht in Germany. And we thought it would be more appropriate to discuss what that is and to talk about the Holocaust and to talk about some current events related to the subject, and that's what we're going to do for you today. Now, yesterday, here on WNN 1470 AM, broadcasting to you out of Boca Raton, Florida, and you're watching and listening also on TrentoVision.tv, on the TeaPartyCommunity.com, and we have some other places you can watch and listen from that J Mark's going to put up on the screen for you. Yesterday, we talked a little bit about Yasser Arafat and the PLO.
Lovely man, lovely organization.
Yeah. Our partners for peace in the Middle East, partners of the United States, future peace partners of the Jewish state of Israel. True or false?
False.
False?
We hate them. Us, as Muslims, hate Israel and hate the Jews.
That's right.
That's
right.
but
You
they
do.
Our peace partners. Though.
And
are
of
peace
course, the
partners.
Secretary of State, John Kerry, would disagree with you. So would President Obama.
Right?
So would former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
So would the European Union.
Yes.
Actually, except for a few sane people in the United States and Israel and Canada and a few other sane people sprinkled around the world who are rarely heard from, everybody would agree with you. And why is that? Because they have their eyes covered and their ears covered and their noses blocked from the stench of the lies.
The absolute lies.
But there's one thing that these current partners for peace have with the events that we're going to talk about today.
Yes.
And that is a pathological hatred
Of
Jews.
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 Yes. Absolutely.
It's the one thing that they all have in common.
That
Where
is
they-
the one
where
thing
they
that
want.
I as Sunni and the despicable Shia can agree upon, is that we would prefer to kill Jews than each other.
That's right. That's
I
right.
mean-
it's one thing everybody can agree
Now,
on.
now, understanding the fact that this this pathological hatred of Jews, it goes way past the Hitler pathological hatred of Jews. It really does, because coming back from Israel and seeing the people who want to kill them, it's not just they want to eradicate every last Jew from the face of the earth,
That's right.
erase Israel from the face of the earth,
That's
and
right.
then when they're done, then they come after the Christians
That's
and
right.
everybody else.
That's right.
And the only thing that is left throughout the entire world is Islam. And
That's right. First
and-
the Saturday people, then the Sunday people,
and,
right?
and you stupid liberals who are siding with these genocidal maniacs, you're next. You think you're going to get a free pass on these guys? Take a look at your history. Oh, I'm sorry, they don't teach history. They don't teach World War II history, do they?
No, they apparently don't.
Whoa!
Do
whoa.
they?
No,
Way
they
to
don't.
Go, way
And
to
we're
go,
going to
Mark.
prove it.
What
We're going to prove
a
it.
segue.
What
What
a-
a brilliant segue.
We're not going to, that's going to come a little bit later.
That's going to be later?
That's
No,
going
I
to,
thought we were going to do that, then come into the Kristallnacht.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Let's do
yeah.
that.
Let's
do
start
that.
with that.
Okay. And let's come back. We have a little video for you, a little informational video about, when you go to college, when you go to universities, you're supposed to get a full, well-rounded education in math and science and history and art.
Whoa, what was that thing before you said art?
History.
What's that?
The thing that
Things that
happened in the past. At least get a major understanding of at least a cursory
But when
understanding
you say
of major
history,
events.
you mean like 5,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago?
Yeah, all the way up till now. Actual
All the way up
progression.
to yesterday.
All the way up to
All the way
yesterday.
up to 30 seconds ago.
Right. And when I went to college, I got that well-rounded history. I went to high school, and I went to, junior college and everything else like that, all the way through college. I got that well-rounded education. I had to take all those courses I never wanted to take. But, I really found it, necessary and needful,
Wait,
and
weren't you on the
absolute
football
necessary.
team?
Yeah, I was on the football and the baseball team.
But so you didn't really have to go to the classes, or did
No,
you?
but I was, I was captain of my high school football team, baseball team, played college ball, did a lot of stuff like that.
And you still had time to learn a little
And
history?
I still had a lot,
Well, what's wrong with these kids we're about to see?
I can't imagine.
Introduce the piece, CJ.
All right.
Go ahead, introduce
All right.
it.
Our producer, Damon, has met a very interesting woman from Pennsylvania. She's a bang-up
Activist.
educator. and
Educator.
yeah, she's a serious activist up
Whose
there in
mother is also a
Pennsylvania.
Holocaust
Her
survivor.
mother is a Holocaust survivor. And this lady, her name is Rhonda Whitman. I can say that, right?
Yes, Rhonda
Okay.
Fink Whitman, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Phenomenal, and she's going to be a guest on the show as soon as she can fit us into her schedule and vice versa. But she will be coming on to
But we
discuss
can't
this.
hold on to this video.
Exactly.
We
We
can't.
couldn't wait for her. It's too good.
We had to show it right away. I know that I love showing over and over again. Damon did a little kind of a similar interview over at the FAU campus here in Boca.
Oh, this is much better.
Yeah, he had a little geography and history lesson with some Palestinian supporters on
Yes.
the campus at FAU. And I thought that was so interesting.
Those were
But that
hateful
was-
people. Those were hateful people. These are ignorant people.
That was absolutely nothing compared to the shocking ignorance.
Oh, I mean,
that
shocking
is on
ignorance.
display in
And for
shocking.
those on the
video.
radio audience, check out 94 Maidens. Okay, if you want to catch this video, go to YouTube and go to 94 Maidens if you want to watch this for yourself.
And
Okay.
for those of you that are intellectually challenged, Maidens. Okay.
And the number
Okay,
94.
he's just showing off that he graduated from the football team and the
That's
baseball
right.
team, and he can spell maiden.
That's right.
Pretty
That's
good,
right.
Mark.
Yeah, that was really good.
All right.
But seriously, why are we showing this? Because it's...
And why are we dedicating almost a whole show to this thing?
And why are we giving almost a whole show to it? And we're going to do some follow-ups on this. There's a serious problem, not just in this country, but worldwide, of
Right.
ignorance of anti-Semitism and atrocities and genocide that is absolutely shocking and appalling. And
Right.
you absolutely cannot understand the context of the world that you're in and recognize the
If you
evil
don't-
that's in front of you if you don't know what came behind it.
Right,
And,
and-
these kids are
Exactly.
good kids in this video.
And they're actually very intelligent kids.
Nah, I don't know about that.
No, I'm talking about as far as
Well, they
where
got
they're
into
going.
good schools. They got into good schools.
If they get into these schools,
Right.
they're not the ones that go to, podunk, community
no, these
college.
are high-end schools.
Well, wait a minute, okay? Intelligence has nothing to do with that.
Right.
It could be that their parents
Right.
could write a check
Well,
for it.
It also goes
Well-
back to part of yesterday's show of Islam
talking
being
about-
in the textbooks in Volusia County.
Thank
Right.
you.
32 pages of Islam, but apparently nothing about what started on Kristallnacht 1938. And let's stop talking about it and watch
Let's
the damn
show some
thing.
of this video.
Okay, here we go.
Hi, I'm Rhonda Fink-Whitman, author of 94 Maidens. It's a Holocaust story inspired by true events. It's a story about how my mother survived the Holocaust. Cute, isn't she? It's no secret I've been pushing my home state of Pennsylvania to make Holocaust education mandatory in classrooms. We're talking public and charter schools, grades 6 through 12. 5 other states in the country already make it mandatory. Can you guess which 5?
California, Florida, Illinois, New Jersey, and New York.
What's taken Pennsylvania so long? I mean, the Holocaust was 70 years ago. This is the last generation of survivors, liberators, eyewitnesses. Frankly, it's a little embarrassing. I'm concerned. I'm concerned as the daughter of a Holocaust survivor, as an educator, as a mother of college-age kids, and as a human being, because genocide is going on today, right now, while you watch this video.
Now she's standing in the middle of Temple University.
The lessons of the Holocaust still haven't been learned. But you can't blame the kids. No one's teaching it to them. By the time they get to a college campus, they should know a thing or two about the Holocaust and other genocides, so that when the plague of denial creeps onto their campus, they're armed and ready with the truth. Tell you what, I'll take
She's
that,
so
thank
spunky.
you.
I love
Let's
this
find out what
lady.
they do or don't know about the Holocaust.
The following footage may
We're in
surprise
a public
you.
school in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
And I'm just going to ask you a few questions, some general history questions.
Okay.
What was the Holocaust?
The Holocaust. I'm on the spot now.
It was
It's Penn State.
a-
Penn State now.
I don't know how to say it. Like, it was something that happened in. Oh my God, I know the answer, but I don't know how to explain it.
Temple University.
Where did the Holocaust happen?
I have no idea.
Where did it start? Which country?
I have no idea.
Amazing.
No. Is it Europe? I don't think so.
Which country was Adolf Hitler the leader of?
I
I
don't
think it's
know.
Amsterdam.
I'm not sure. I forget.
About how many
God.
years ago do you think?
Older two. So
this
it's
is-
1800?
Hold on. We got to comment about some of this right now. Hold on. We got to comment about some of this. Hold on. You haven't even heard of the word Holocaust? Give me a break. I mean, and it's and the
That's
people.
okay. Europe is a country, and so is Amsterdam.
What's wrong with these kids?
It's like what? I mean, and these aren't. You look at these kids on the video, okay, and they're not. They obviously look intelligent. They obviously can converse in an intelligent manner. I mean, come on, you've never heard of the word Holocaust? I mean,
It's amazing. These kids, they know nothing.
They know less than nothing.
All right, you want to
They are the products of the last 20 years of education in the United States.
And
of
if it's
America.
anything like
what amazes me is only 5 states have passed Holocaust mandatory education. Florida being one of them. Thank
every
God.
school board should be forced to watch this, and then they might mandate it, because
Well,
this is
wait a minute.
embarrassing.
No. You know, they're not going to mandate it, and you know why? Because they're more concerned about
Islam and being politically correct.
political correctness, kowtowing to Islam.
Like
How
in-
do the students feel about themselves? What is their gender identity?
You're right.
What you know?
How
those
about
kinds of. What is their racial identity? What does reading, mathematics,
Yep.
history have anything to do?
How about in England, where the parents of the Muslim students have gone to the schools and mandated that they take Holocaust education out because it makes them feel uncomfortable?
Because-
How far away from it is it from happening here? And apparently
Right.
they're not learning a lot about it anyway, but how long until you have the cares of this world come and ask for the same thing that they are in London?
That's exactly the point,
It's
and
all-
that's why it's not going to get enacted unless people who are activists like Rhonda start getting
Right.
involved.
Well, let's go on and listen to some more. It's not just about the Holocaust. It's World War II education, why we want the war and everything. Here we go.
It's
Listen to this.
pathetic.
I want to say like 300 years ago, maybe.
What were the prison camps called? What are they commonly known as?
I know this.
Apparently.
I don't remember.
No, can't help you.
Begins with a C.
Concentration camps.
Can you name one?
No.
Not one.
Nope.
Can you name a concentration camp?
No.
What was Auschwitz?
I don't know.
That's the kid who came up with concentration
I'm not
spotted in the
sure.
sea.
What was the night of broken glass?
I don't know.
What was
Drexel
the night of broken
University.
glass?
Drexel University.
I do not know.
I don't know.
Penn State.
What were the Nuremberg laws?
Once again, I'm not sure.
I don't know that one.
What were the Nuremberg trials?
I don't know.
What was the significance of a ship called the St. Louis?
Don't know.
Which United States president was responsible for sending a boatload of Jews back to a certain death in Europe?
Not sure.
Let's give our audience a little understanding of what happened with the St. Louis here.
All right.
And CJ, you actually
Go
had,
ahead.
you actually,
Oh, no.
you actually knew. All right.
No.
Okay.
That was.
Mark,
that
you
was,
give it to us.
Yeah, no,
Well.
that was not family member.
Okay.
That was not my family members on that boat. That was a different time
Right.
before World War II,
Okay.
and that's how my some of my family ended up in Brazil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, in a nutshell, the story of the St. Louis after Kristallnacht, the night of broken glass, or the night of crystal, whichever way. Technically, it's night of crystal, but Kristallnacht night, I call it, is after that the Jews were exiting Germany in droves, and they tried to come to Cuba actually to go down to be rescued down there in Cuba and immigrate in there. And then they had, you actually have a picture of it there, Damon. Okay. And these are the actual Jews that were on the St. Louis escaping to Cuba. Well, there's a huge amount of anti-Semitism brewing throughout the United States with actually Henry Ford and a whole bunch of other who were passing around the protocols of Zion, Elders of Zion. And it spread down to Cuba, where they denied the entry of this ship into the harbor because they were Jews. Mm-hmm. And then they had to leave, and a couple of them got off board out of Cuba, but the vast majority of them, 900 and some odd, left and took a slow cruise up the Florida coast and outside of Miami, where they appealed to President Roosevelt, who said, we need to let these people in because they're killing Jews over in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
But there was that denial, that burying your head in the sand mentality.
That's right.
And your hero FDR liberals denied these people from coming into the country and sent them back throughout Europe, where a lot of them were eventually killed. And
here's the quick wiki on it.
Okay.
The MS St. Louis was a German ocean liner, most notable for a single voyage in 1939, in which her captain, Gustav Schroeder, tried to find homes for 937 German Jewish refugees after they were denied entry to Cuba. The United States and Canada, they were denied Cuba, U.S., and Canada, until finally accepted to various countries of Europe. Historians have estimated that after they returned to Europe, approximately a quarter of the ship's passengers died in concentration camps.
Right.
I'm surprised that number is so low.
Yeah, but also a lot of them were killed, though, in the countries that the Nazi overran.
Of course, yeah, but not necessarily. They might not have made it to a concentration camp.
But they would have definitely been safe in the United States.
But listen to this. This is right after Kristallnacht.
Right.
The Nuremberg laws were already enacted years before that.
Nuremberg laws being the laws, the
official anti-Semitism
laws.
Okay. And only 1,000 people?
On that one boat.
On that one boat.
Oh, 6 million dead, 1,000 on the boat.
Do you know, I don't understand when I think about it, going back in time. I ask myself, what would it take for you to figure out that you're not welcome here anymore, and that you need to pack up your bag and go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? What does it take? How many governments, how many townspeople, how many stonings have to happen? How many shops have to be looted? How many people have to be killed before you figure out this is not a place for you to live anymore? And why does that matter? Okay?
You know what?
Because the reason why it matters is because the same thing is happening now to the Jewish people all over Europe. Forget even what's happening in the Middle East. They're not welcome in Norway. They're discriminated against in the Netherlands. England doesn't want them. France doesn't want them. If you're a Jew in Europe, you either can't openly be a practicing Jew, or you have to hide what you're doing.
How about the
and you have to get out.
How about the videos of the people when people go and they wear their yarmulkes?
When they're wearing their kippot, yeah.
And they go down to and they go into France and walk the streets, how they're accosted all the time now. I mean, do you not see a parallel or pattern here? I mean, you know, when you talk about this whole problem that we're facing, this is just true, pure anti-Semitism. The parallels are too
Yeah,
scary.
I know we were gonna go back.
Well, I want
yeah.
to
Okay. Let's go back to the video.
Let's go back to this video because the ignorance gets even
That's
more
why
amazing.
I say that the ignorance is so frightening because when they look and they see, if they even hear about what's happening somewhere else, how easy it is for that mentality to take over a country when the population starts off being ignorant or just starts off with a pre-existing prejudice.
And then you have the MSA that comes onto these campuses. There you go.
SJP.
So let's go back to the video here and listen a little bit more of this amazing ignorance.
Never heard that one.
I don't know.
Penn State.
Have you ever heard that before?
No, I haven't.
Did you look surprised when I said that? You never heard that story?
No, I didn't. I've never heard it.
I have no idea.
What was the final solution?
I don't know. I think it was just at the end of the World War II. They just it was the Nuremberg trials against the war crimes against the Nazi Party.
What do you mean by final solution?
What was his plan that he called the final solution?
Oh, I don't know then.
Do you know how many Jews were murdered?
I'm not sure. I want to say 3 million, but I have no idea.
Higher?
Higher? Is it 300?
Hundreds of thousands. That'd be my best guess.
I want to say like 1 million. I'm not sure.
What other groups were targeted besides Jewish people?
The African Americans. Here
In
in
the
the United States,
Holocaust.
they used to be like discriminated because skin color, and like the whites, especially American people, they used to like put them aside because of
What about
Stop
in
it
Europe?
right there.
Hold on. The American people used to put them aside. You got to be kidding
This
me.
is revisionist history, and that answer is so perfect. She has no idea what she's talking to, but somehow it's America being the bad guy and racist.
Right, right.
That
Well,
is
her
it in
textbook
a
must-
nutshell.
Her textbook must have been written by La Raza.
Yeah.
Let's go on.
Let's go on.
Who did the Nazis target besides the Jews in Europe?
I don't know.
What type of experiments were done on prisoners of Auschwitz?
I don't know.
What did they do to twins in Auschwitz?
No idea.
Name a form of resistance during the Holocaust.
I don't know.
Why did the Americans storm the beaches of Normandy?
I have no idea.
Where is Normandy?
Oh, this is great.
This is great.
So like, I mean, it's over near like England and Germany and all that jazz. I think it's
All
like
that jazz.
it's not a peninsula, but like, do you know? I can look at the map and I'm like picturing the part that comes down.
The country.
And
of
it's
gotta see
like
the hand
over in
language
there.
with it.
The country of Normandy.
Which country?
Normandy? It's over by it's over by Germany. I know that. Like, at least compared to the United States. So
Yep, she's right.
probably not much more help than that.
Which
You mean Norway? Is that what you're trying to explain to me, you moron? Oh, God.
Not much more help than that.
which event thrust the United States into World War II?
I believe it's the murder of Franz Ferdinand.
That's at least you got a war right on
Yeah,
this.
World War I,
World
II,
War
what's
II,
the
wait, now,
difference?
What's the difference? Go ahead.
Yeah, Franz Ferdinand.
I think it wasn't it the Holocaust. I
The Holocaust
believe it was
started
the
the
start of the
war.
Holocaust.
What was the ghetto uprising and where did it take place?
Was that in Harlem?
I'm Rhonda Fink Whitman, author of 94 Maidens. It's a Holocaust story inspired by...
Uh-oh, we went backwards.
But go ahead and let me cue it back up to where we were.
Okay, let's
but,
cue that back
yeah,
up.
this is a good discussion point, actually. I mean, can you even... This is just basic history. I mean, they're not even teaching basic World War II history?
Okay, well, what do you think is going to happen when Common Core becomes the law of the land?
What Holocaust?
What Holocaust?
What World War II?
What World War... Yeah.
World
Because
War II.
after
We were
all-
the perpetrators of World War
Yeah,
II.
who were the perpetrators?
We were the bad guys.
Of course we were.
All right. Well,
It was another colonization effort. Back
Is
to
Joseph Maloney an Arthur?
Oh, no,
that was...
okay.
Oh, we're going to go back. Who was Joseph Mengele? That was the good one here.
Woodrow Wilson? No?
I'm sorry. Back it up just a little bit more. Okay.
The Holocaust.
What was the ghetto uprising and where did it take place?
I don't know that either.
What did they tattoo on prisoners' arms at Auschwitz and other camps?
I want to say the Star of David, but I'm not really sure on what the tattoo.
That'd be me.
What U.S. general ordered his troops to take pictures of what they found at the camps when they got there so that no one would ever deny or forget what they did?
I don't know.
There's a lot of U.S. generals that demanded that.
I don't know his name.
Who was Joseph Mengele?
I'm not sure.
Who was
That
the
was
president
Gregory
of the
Peck,
United
right?
States during World War II, during the Holocaust?
World War II. Was it Wilson? Woodrow Wilson?
Yeah,
No?
Woodrow Wilson.
Woodrow
Yeah.
Wilson, yeah.
Knows his American history too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who was the
I
president?
want to say
Who was the president?
Eisenhower.
Yeah,
but
Eisenhower in 1800. Because that's the same girl who thought that's when World War II
II
was.
Oh,
probably
yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
Was it JFK?
At least he was alive.
Barely.
Well, he did actually.
Oh, no, he was.
PT
He was, he
109.
was.
PT 109, right? PT
Yeah.
109. Okay, at least he was there.
Winston Churchill.
Oh, that was a good
He was a general.
Oh, this is great.
General
Winston
Churchill.
Who was Winston Churchill?
He was a general. I know that.
He was a general.
Right? or he was involved in the military somehow. But
which military?
I think the U.S. one, right? No? Okay. Well.
Is Joseph Maloney an author?
I don't know, but I'm guessing a survivor of the Holocaust.
Who were known as the
Mengele.
Allies?
What was the
The
last question?
allies of Hitler, or
What was the last question here?
guessing a survivor of the Holocaust.
Who were known as the Allies?
Oh, this is good.
The allies of Hitler, or of
They were called the Allies of America.
America. Russia, maybe.
Russia.
Russia.
Hey, ding, 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 ding.
That's all I have.
2 more.
Begins with a U.
What to start with?
A U.
No, I'm just kidding.
Who were the Allies?
I'll take allies.
That
200
was.
Alex.
Ooh.
Tough one.
Is that like no, that was man. The history is kind of spotty.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, kind of.
It's too bad we don't know
This is
their
embarrassing.
majors.
Any hints?
Who was Anne Frank?
I never read that book.
Never.
What did the Nazis make the Jews wear to identify them as Jews?
Ooh. I don't know.
What was the Holocaust?
Hold on.
That happened during World War II.
Hey.
Hitler organized it.
Hey.
He believed that Jews had dirty blood and they had to be erased. So he organized concentration camps and put them all through torture and a lot of
Finally,
deaths,
one
a lot of
student.
just horrible cruelty.
Can you name a concentration camp?
Auschwitz. I took a class on this actually in high school.
Oh, yeah. There's the answer.
You took a class on this in high school.
Yes.
Did you go to public school in Pennsylvania?
No, New Jersey.
Oh.
New Jersey mandated Holocaust education in public schools
What
in
other groups
94.
of people were targeted by the Nazis?
Gypsies, homosexuals.
Yes.
Disabled.
Yes.
I think even twins.
Absolutely.
Or
Well.
what's the word?
Experiments.
Well, they do experiments on twins. I know that they did that. Terrible experiment because I went to the museum, Holocaust Museum.
Okay.
New Jersey went to the museum. New Jersey went to the museum in Washington, D.C.?
Yes, we went field trip actually in high school. Everyone, it wasn't even just the class. It was my whole grade went.
Oh, good.
So that was really
Kara
cool to
would
see.
go nuts.
When did the Holocaust happen?
1941, 42. 1940s?
New Jersey. All
Where's
correct.
Tom?
Were there any survivors?
Of the Holocaust? Yes.
Have you met any?
No, I wish. I think we were supposed to have a survivor come into class, but we couldn't organize one. But no, I haven't
Better
met
hurry.
anyone.
Better hurry.
What were the Nuremberg laws?
They were laws that prohibited many Jews from doing daily tasks that people should. Is that wrong?
That's right. What type of experiments were done on prisoners in Auschwitz?
Medical experiments.
What did they do to twins in Auschwitz?
Oh, they did crazy stuff to the twins. They I remember reading about this. A lot of experimental things that were not safe and they weren't proven to be safe.
Who was Anne Frank?
Anne Frank was a young girl who hid in the attic, I think of her parents' store somewhere, and she hid there for a while until she was captured, and she had a diary, and she recorded what was happening.
You seem to know quite a bit about the Holocaust. Did you go to public school in Pennsylvania?
No, I went to public school in Long Island, New York.
Oh, okay. New York mandates public schools and Holocaust education in 1994.
What's the difference between a perpetrator, a victim, and a bystander?
I don't know.
Oh,
What
God.
is genocide?
What is genocide?
The
Yeah,
word sounds so familiar to me, but I just can't remember.
What is genocide?
Penn State.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Is genocide taking place today anywhere?
Not that I'm aware of.
Is genocide taking place anywhere today? If so, where?
I don't believe so.
That's it for this part. If anyone wants to finish watching the video, I highly recommend you do so. Google or YouTube 94 Maidens. It's Rhonda Whitman, and she is going to be a guest on the show soon, and I can't wait to have her on.
I can't wait to have her on the show.
The level, when I first saw this video, I was actually blown away. I can see, the man in the streets, ignorant person type of, Jay Leno. But this is on major universities.
In the
Penn
Northeast.
State, Temple. What was it? There was a
Penn State.
About 3 or 4 different major universities in the Northeast. Drexel, yes. And these aren't podunk universities. You have to pass an SAT to get into these things. Is there anything on the SAT that talks about any of this?
The one girl sounds like she couldn't spell SAT. The one girl sounds like she couldn't spell SAT.
I don't know. I don't know how they got to where they are. I really don't.
And these are our future leaders of America?
I don't understand it.
These are our future congressmen? These are our future business leaders?
These kids are going to go to college now, okay? And these are the ones who did well in high school, okay?
Yeah, these aren't the dropouts.
These kids are going to go to college.
These are
and they're going to sit there and get educated by the professor with the Che Guevara T-shirt.
Yep.
Book bag.
And what do you think he's going to teach them?
Especially
that's going to prepare them really for the world, the way that it really is.
And CJ, you know that we have been to many of the universities. This is what you're seeing right here is not some minor,
This is the norm.
This is the norm. We ask these people, out in California universities, all throughout the United States, we go into university campuses, and the level of ignorance about this type of stuff is beyond amazing. I mean, it is at this level, and then they get influenced by the Muslim Students Association, which is a Muslim Brotherhood front group. The Muslims aren't stupid. They know that these people are ignorant about World War II history. They're ignorant about all these other things.
They're ignorant about American history. They're ignorant about current events.
Where they're believing that the Muslims founded America.
Yes, this is true.
There's a huge vacuum in here.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And bad guys
are filling that void.
Are filling it. And these kids are not stupid. They're just ignorant.
No,
it's not that they don't have the
ability mental capacity.
Learn, right. But they're so ignorant they don't even know what they don't know.
What?
Because they are treated. This is the best, the brightest, the smartest generation.
And they'll tell you so.
And they'll tell you so. There isn't a kid in that video who hasn't been told since he was this high or she was this high. He's special, he's a genius, he's perfect. Everything he does, thinks, and feels it's perfection.
And here's the problem.
There's no wrong.
You know what?
So if you already think that you are, then why would you ever have to discover anything?
Now, in college, they should be mandating teaching this to everybody. They should be world history. I know I was taught it in college. What happened to it in college? Okay, it's gone in college because of the liberal left. But why isn't this being taught in high school? Like the one girl said, that was a brilliant idea. Her whole class went to the Holocaust Museum. Right. The whole class. It should be mandated for everybody to know this stuff. And that it is not, it is, blows me away that only 5 states have passed this. And now you want to have this Common Core education taught by leftist liberals?
You know what blows me away is that you even have to have a law to say that you have to teach it.
I know.
Because they're not even doing it unless the legislatures are mandating it.
And are you ready for this? I was talking to Rhonda last week. The law to make, the bill to make it a law in Pennsylvania, it failed. And the self-hating Jewish coalition or federation or whatever they are up there basically talked to the state legislature and said, hey, don't worry about it. You know, if it's going to be a big deal, you know, we'd rather save if we have to really pressure you to get something passed. You know, we don't want to waste our bullets on this one, basically. What is possibly more important? What do you think is going to, what kind of anti-Semitism is this going to lead to down the line when all these kids are so ignorant?
That's the thinking right there, what Damon is talking about, the
self-hating Jews.
I don't know who they were. I don't know who
federation or coalition it was, but they're heavy.
Which groups they were in Pennsylvania, but obviously, whatever they say carries a lot of weight with the legislators. But the same thing happened during World War II in this country when it was already known that genocide was happening in Europe.
Buried their heads in the sand.
They buried their heads in the sand, and they said, no, don't stick your neck out for that. Don't try to go save all those Jews and bring them over here, because then we got a good life here, and we're going to have an anti-Semitism problem.
Self-preservation
you actually
over doing what's
try
right.
to save the Jews of Europe.
Yeah, and if you say anything bad, they're going to start hating me, and I don't want them to start hating me. I'm too comfortable over here.
Right.
You know what?
Right. It's the mindset of the victim who wants to be loved by the perpetrator, the persecutor.
That's like the Israelis trying to make peace with the Palestinians right now. They tell you they're going to kill you.
That's right.
That's all they've done. Every time that you give them any land, they just put their rockets that much closer to your civilians' population.
That's right.
They're going to kill you. And if you don't have a foundational knowledge, I mean, just a basic foundational knowledge of what has happened to you in the past, how can you learn from that lesson? How can you, you're as the saying goes, you're doomed to repeat it.
Exactly.
And especially if you're a Jewish Israeli.
Right.
And you're actually living on the land that has, forget even World War II, forget the Holocaust, just go back a few thousand years past that. You're living on the land.
Right.
The ruins are there.
Mark
the
was just there.
archaeology
Mark
is there.
and Tom
You
were there. It's proof.
You were just there.
There's archaeological proof that ties Jews to Israel.
Yes. Okay. Absolutely. 100%.
You can't say there's not. And like the Palestinian, the PLO charter like to say that we did in yesterday's show.
Right.
Saying that there is no historical evidence to tie the Jewish people to Israel is absolutely false.
Right. That's right.
And if you don't...
Mark saw it.
Yep. And you know where the anger and the hatred and all the vileness comes from? You see it firsthand. You see how that vile and sprung up from a little incident to a bigger incident to a bigger incident. Similarly, what happened back in 1930s during the time of broken glass, the night of broken glass.
Which we're going to get into in a second. But just to tie the Kristallnacht together with the Islamic Jew hatred, this is a picture we always love to put up. Now,
yeah.
Well, you know what's sad about this? You know what's sad about this picture? And what we're showing is the picture of the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem.
Al-Quds!
And sitting with Hitler. Now, this is not just a photo op shop. This is
By the way,
shop.
that's Arafat's uncle.
Yeah, granduncle.
Granduncle. Well, still an uncle.
Yeah. But but looking at this shot here, I never knew any of this before I got involved into what I'm doing now.
Neither did I.
Really?
Neither did you.
No. I was
never even
not
heard
aware of the Islamic-Nazi relationship until I hooked up with this organization. I can't brag about my education that much either, can I?
This was never taught to me in high school, never taught to me in college, never taught to me anywhere until I started becoming active.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a dramatic ignorance on my part. And then when I started looking at it, I first thought, okay, you guys found a picture or something like that.
No, I got a bunch of pictures.
No, actually, there's a whole video of this thing, of this whole, well, let me go where I'm going here, is I say, well, who is this guy? Then I started doing the investigative research. Well, who is he? What was his position? And then I find out, oh my God, he wasn't just a little bitty player. He was a major player. And not did he just have a relationship with Hitler, oh my God, He formed Nazi SS divisions.
Right. Dr. Andy Bostom, who was our guest last week, or no?
Not just one, but tens of thousands of Arabs joined the Nazis in Germany to kill Jews.
Well, not just, I mean, when you say, it's not just Arabs, it's Muslims.
Muslims. I should say Muslims. I'm more qualified to say Muslims.
Yeah, it's Muslims.
You're right.
Please, Marcus.
Yeah, but
well,
the ideology.
Because you take away from the European Muslims from Yugoslavia who were.
And then I came to realize, I said, well, these Muslims became Nazis, and then I realized that is such a false statement. These Muslims simply wanted to kill Jews, and the Nazi uniform had to be a convenient thing to do it with.
License to kill, baby.
It was a license to kill.
License to kill.
So they were Muslims, just, all right, I'll dress up, I'll put this uniform on if I can kill Jews.
That's right.
That is their whole point.
Didn't you do a video on this
Yes,
subject?
I did a whole long video.
And
on
is that on the website, theunitedwest.org?
Yes, there's.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you go to the website,
Yeah.
theunitedwest.org,
Right.
You can. What's the name of the video?
Well, I actually have a couple of them out there.
Yeah.
One was Progressive Islam.
That's right.
Progressive Islam had this on there, and also another one I did.
Oh, I remember. Oh my gosh, I remember
this?
having these fights with you about talking about progressive Islam.
Right.
Is that what we should call it?
Yeah. Progressive Islam, and there's with all this
for those
interrelationships.
Of you listening on the radio, we're doing a montage of
slides with Imam al-Husseini with the Muslim SS troops.
Yeah, and they actually had
Bosnian Muslim.
Bosnian Muslim. We had them praying to Islam, and and it's all was perpetrated from inside of Germany, and also, which I did not realize, if you want to go chicken and the egg scenario, did Islam hate Jews before Hitler did?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
By
about 1,400 years.
Well, 1,300.
1,300 years.
Yeah. Between friends.
And for anyone who's interested in learning more about that relationship, we highly, highly, highly recommend you go to Andrew Bostom.
Right.
Google Andrew Bostom. He's a regular guest on the show, and he has an immense amount of research on the topic.
Yeah.
Right. And
basically, his thesis is basically that it wasn't Hitler and the Nazis who turned otherwise peaceful Muslims into killers.
No,
it was already there.
It was already
there. What they
there.
had in common,
right.
Was actually the Nazis were learning from the Muslims.
Well, actually, interesting. One of the interesting quotes that Hitler, when he was talking about Muslims and the Mohammedan religion, was it's a perfect.
Perfect for us.
It's perfect for us, and plus, it got so. Hitler loved the Handskar division and how they were killing Jews and the efficiency of which they were killing the Jews, that he actually took his Nazi SS soldiers and had them were training by the Bosnian Muslim because they were just, you guys are just wiping out Jews.
You know how to hate Jews. Watch this.
These guys.
Unreal.
Let's show you some stuff.
We have 10 minutes left in the show,
Kristallnacht,
and let's 75th anniversary of Kristallnacht.
Right.
And I'll just read a quick.
It doesn't the point of this is genocide doesn't usually just happen overnight.
Right.
Okay? It doesn't spring up out of nowhere. There are warning signs. And this is one of the main warning signs.
I'd like to just go ahead and read out of Wikipedia again, just what their definition of Kristallnacht is.
This is actually pretty accurate definition.
Okay. Kristallnacht, also referred to as the Night of Broken Glass, was a program against Jews throughout Nazi Germany and parts of Austria on November 9th and 10th, 1938, carried out by SA paramilitary forces and non-Jewish civilians.
That's the brown shirts. SA was the brown shirts.
Right. German authorities looked on without intervening. The name Kristallnacht comes from the shards of broken glass that littered the streets after Jewish-owned stores, buildings, and synagogues had their windows smashed. Now, I'd like to just go to a real quick excerpt of a longer video.
Okay.
This is a Holocaust survivor who was there on Kristallnacht.
Can I just say one thing before you show the video
Yes.
really quick? Okay. This takes place in 1938. All right. This didn't just spring up out of nowhere
No.
either.
Right.
Okay. Mein Kampf was written in 1925 and published in 1925 and 1926. And in it,
Right.
Adolf Hitler lays out exactly how he feels about the Jews and exactly what he thinks should be done about them.
Right.
And German voters, including German Jews, went to the polls and voted this guy in anyway. So
Right.
a lot of parallels to today, even when they tell you right to your face what it is that they're really all about,
Right.
thinking people still absolutely won't believe it.
And our administration, from Obama down and all his other Jew haters, John Kerry, Samantha
Right.
Power, and the whole list we covered last week, they're all a bunch of Jew haters. For them to pressure Israel into making peace with the quote, peace partner, that all they have is your annihilation as their final goal is absurd. You're asking an entire nation to commit suicide.
And then blackmailing them and saying, if you don't do this, then we won't support you vis-a-vis the Iranians. As if the Iranians aren't a
Blackmail.
big enough problem for the United States and the rest of the world, too.
Exactly. Well, anyway, here's
All
a
right,
video.
show us this video
This
and
is-
then tell us your connection.
I will.
Okay.
Ready?
And they put him on a blacklist, and they started to prepare really a very,
Speaking of her
very
father.
bad, situation for my family. They took him to the Gestapo. We didn't see him again. This was in 1938. On Kristallnacht, November 1938, some friends of my father came to my mother to the store, and they said, you better close the store because they preparing a big demonstration against you downtown in the town. And my mother, first she didn't believe it, but
First
a
she
little
didn't believe
later on we started to hear the drums, and the drums were coming closer and closer. And she still didn't believe that it was, the demonstration was against us. So we went to bed. And when it came very close to the house, they started to break our windows, and my mother grabbed us from bed, and we ran into the attic of the house where we had tenants. It was a big house.
So, how do you know this woman, Damon?
That is my great aunt.
Really?
Yep.
And she has made it her cause here
Right.
in the United States to educate. Oh, he's leaving. Oh, come back.
No, it's
That's okay. All right.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it starts.
And that these kids, don't even have that basic knowledge of what the hell happened. It's disgusting, CJ. It really is. It makes you...
But you know why it is?
Yeah.
The reason why is because the adults who grew up in a different generation
There are no
and who
adults
do
anymore.
have the knowledge, for some reason, which I don't understand, they don't pass it on. And it's like they don't think it's important enough that the next generation knows what they already take for granted that they know. And I don't understand why the generation in this country that's in their 40s and 50s and their kids are in high school and college, I don't understand, because they have been educated differently than the current generation. I don't understand why it is that they're not making sure that their kids and their communities are educated on this subject. I don't understand it. And I don't understand why they have this background and they have this knowledge and they look at what's happening around the world and they could actually think to themselves, this does not apply to me.
Right.
It's very uncomfortable for people.
More than 70% of the Jewish voters in this country are Democrats, okay?
Right.
I understand why, for a lot of reasons, that they are historically.
Social issues,
okay.
liberalism.
But the Democratic Party in this country has certainly changed greatly over the last 20 years.
Well,
and what's going on right now, and for the Jewish voters in this country to take a look at that and say that has nothing to do with me and that's not going to touch me, and say what you want to about Israel on the college campuses and go push Israel with my Secretary of State and pretend that you didn't hear that the leaders of Iran want to nuke Israel off the map and that it has nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I don't understand.
Well,
some of those people lived through the Holocaust. They survived it.
We'll see another Kristallnacht in our lifetime.
I think we
We're
already...
already starting
Hold
to
on.
see it.
I did a whole video on this.
Yeah.
I think we already did, and it was called... I wrote the video, and it was actually a poem. I called it, Why Is There Glass in the Streets of My City?
That's right.
And I did it for 9/11 Memorial.
Right.
It's actually, if you want to go, it's actually a really good video because, it's a, Tom introduced it and it tells the whole, and it actually includes Kristallnacht. And I actually parallel Kristallnacht with 9/11. Why is there glass in the streets of my city?
It's a good point.
Because,
interesting.
I think that was our Kristallnacht.
Yeah, but you know what?
Now, I want to say one other thing about this is World War II did not have to happen. You look at the history, you study the history, it should not have happened. We had all the warning signs. We had all the information. We knew what was going on, and it did not have to happen. The reason it had happened was because communism and socialism, that's where it always leads to, is war. War that is going to result in massive millions and millions in deaths. It always has, it always will, it always has been. So anyway, let you close it out, CJ. We got like 1 minute left here.
I was going to say, let's end the week with, get educated, pay attention. It's not just history, it's happening now. Okay? The same things that happened 75 years ago are happening now.
Right.
Don't wait for it to be in your backyard. Don't make excuses for the people who advocate for it because it's scary or because you think that for some magical reason you can insulate yourself from it, because you can't. And I want to thank everybody for watching and listening
And thank
this
Rhonda
week.
Whitman for making that great
Rhonda
video.
Whitman,
And we
right.
look forward to having her on the show very,
And we're
very
going to
soon.
have a show on with the people down in Sarasota that we met. Thank those people, Damon.
Yeah, Rich Swire, Gene Sweeney, Barbara, Jack, and his
Beth.
lovely wife, Beth.
Yeah.
That's right.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
And
Thank
we'll
you,
see
everybody.
you next week. Bye-bye.